Listen to Ron Siegel's Home and Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. And he's been away from us for a while, but busy taking care and helping people. Jeff Sipes, Blue Water Credit. You've heard me talk about him before on Ron Siegel Radio. He is the man. He's here in person. Welcome, Jeff.
Thanks, Ron. Appreciate having me on the show.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Yes, of course, we celebrate today. Today's a fascinating day of celebrations because I'm looking at the list here today, and, you know, you got some interesting things, but for the guy that's beating anorexia, I don't know what I'm going to do here because today's National Youth Confidence Day. Okay, we can go with that one. National Pharmacy Technician Day. Okay, we can go with that one. National Brandied Fruit Day. Can I just have the brandy without the fruit, please? I mean, maybe I can go that way. That might work for us. Maybe we're going to have to look ahead a little bit because tomorrow's Pumpkin Cheesecake Day, so we might have to just start right at there. No, I find that, Jeff, you're with me, huh, Jeff? So my idea right there is, you know, I like to start with dessert first. My bariatric doctor doesn't seem to like that. I don't know what his problem is with that, but hey, we'll keep on looking. Let's look at what the markets are doing today. Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 195 points. I will tell you why in just a minute. S&P 500, that's up 25 points. We're looking at the NASDAQ up 68 points. Are you getting a little bit of a pattern here? It looks like a lot of things are on the upward trend. Oil, well, oil's on the downside, but it's only 4 cents. That doesn't really mean a whole heck of a lot. 4 cents down a barrel. But, you know, hey, here in Calizuela, we still just get to deal with high prices. We don't like to save money. We like to tax ourselves to death. That's just the way it seems to work here. We vote for the people. National average a gallon of gasoline, $2.16.4, down a fraction of a penny. Here in Calizuela, we're at $3.19.7, highest price in the continental United States. And once again, Mississippi leads the country at $1.84.7. Only place in the entire United States that has gas prices higher than us is the beautiful state of Hawaii. Although right now, right now, I've got some friends that are from Hawaii. It's not a pleasant place to be right now. It's all boarded up. Everything's shut down. Maybe it's kind of like going to Disneyland. Oh, no, you can't go to Disneyland. The governor doesn't want us there. Think about this one. Disney, every place in the world is open. No cases of COVID, but in Anaheim, in Calizuela, we're still closed. Let's keep on looking and seeing what else is going on in the markets today. We were watching the interest rate market. We do that every day for you. U.S. 10-year Treasury, I've told you, watch out for that 0.78. We're at 0.779 right now. Not a good place to be. We don't want to get through that 0.78. That should lead us to higher interest rates. Germany, they're still down a negative 0.60. still the price that you're going to pay in, or you got to give them more money in Germany if you're going to have them hold your money. What's driving a lot of this right now? Well, if you're a fan of Google, if you use Google, are you alive? If you're alive, you probably use Google, right? They antitrust lawsuit filed today by the Justice Department. Google. It's going to be a fascinating one because usually when you have these government filings, these government lawsuits, the companies just have to capitulate because the government has so much money. What is the company going to do? Google's got $180 billion in the bank, $180 billion. So I think they'll be able to afford to fight this lawsuit. Wall Street doesn't seem to be affected too much by the lawsuit because Google stock up $6.11. So we're just watching that for you. Hey, what else are we watching right now? It's a fascinating vision right now. Are you going to watch the Democrat debate? I'm sorry, the presidential debate on Thursday. Fascinating watching that one as well. I think they might as well just call it a Democrat-hosted debate because the Democrats get, usually historically, the last debate in the series is always discussing foreign policy. Do you remember the famous line from President Obama that about when he was talking about Russia, they want to Mitt Romney, they want your diplomacy back. And Mitt Romney was saying that China was our biggest concern. Yeah, President Obama didn't recognize that. You think President or Vice President Biden did? But it's traditionally, as I said, the final debate is a conversation on foreign policy. Guess what? They're not going to do that this time because that might cause a problem for Vice President Biden. Although, you got to wonder about this. I mean, I know we're in Calizuela. I know that a lot of people like the vice president here. We are a blue state. There's no reason for the president to come out here and campaign just because we know that California is going to go blue. They're going to go for Biden. What are you voting for? Right? Did you see this thing? And I think it was 50 Cent came out now and said that he's going to vote for President Obama because he doesn't like the tax plan from Vice President Biden. No one will ask him about this. I'm going to tell you right here, right now, Ron Siegel Radio, your taxes are going up. If you eat, if you drive, if you buy clothing, any of these things. Just think about this one. I've said this on Ron Siegel Radio. People don't understand this. You hear all these people out there saying, well, Amazon didn't pay any taxes. And we want the big corporations to pay their fair share. I'm going to give you a little economics lesson here. Corporations do not pay taxes. They collect taxes, right? If you want Amazon or say even General Motors, when they pay their taxes, they're going to raise their prices to you and collect the tax forwarded to the government, right? So you go and you pay taxes on your hard-earned income, and you go and buy a new car, you go and buy a new shirt, you go and buy some certain kinds of food, you go and buy some detergent. Well, the companies have to build into their margin enough money to cover their tax liability. Who pays that? You do, because they're building up their prices to cover it. So when Vice President Biden says he's going to raise the corporate tax from 21% to 28%, do you think those companies are going to just roll over and say, that's okay, Vice President, I don't mind, I'm just going to take it out of my profits? Ain't going to happen. Same thing when we're listening right here, Proposition 15 in California, right? If you say to a corporation that they have to start paying taxes on their property, the businesses they're going to raise their prices. They're going to raise your rent. You're going to pay it. The numbers come out. Anybody earning over $137,000 a year, your taxes are going up under Vice President Biden's plan. Is that what you're voting for? Now, the vice president, I know he's getting a little long in the tooth. He's a little old, but he hasn't been anywhere visible for the last 3 days. He won't be anywhere until the debates. Got to take a nap every day. They've put a lid on their campaign. They're not doing anything. He says he's preparing for the debates. He's been doing this for 47 years. How much more preparing does he need? Right? Think about some of these things. I mean, it just fascinates me. If I had to go and prepare 4 days in seclusion for every radio program, you think I could how would I stay in business? Right? I've been doing this 10 years. I haven't been doing it for 47 years like the vice president. Right? 47 years he's been doing this, and he says, I got to go and prepare for the debate. So I'm not going to be out on the campaign trail talking to the people for the next 4 days. He started this, I think, on Saturday. What kind of, is that the leader you want? Is that the leader we deserve in the United States? I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm just saying, watch what they do. I know that a lot of people don't like the way this sounds from the president. I get it. But you know something, the things that he's done, they don't want to talk about foreign policy in this upcoming debate because there hasn't been a president in recent history that's got 2 Mideast peace deals in their first term of office. 2 of them. Wonder what he could do if he didn't have all the obstruction from the Democrats, if he didn't have to be dealing with all of the hoax of the China hoax, which was obviously the Hillary Clinton deal, the Ukrainian hoax, the impeachment, that kind of might have taken his eye off the ball when the China virus came. I just throw that out there for you to consider. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, the recipe for a perfect credit score. What is a perfect credit score? We're going to talk to our guest Jeff Sipes about that. Americans are gaining confidence in the economy. And yes, indeed, we've got that featured home brought to you by mysocallender.com. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Real Estate Radio is hosted by local real estate and finance expert Ron Siegel. The purpose of this show is to help consumers understand what's really going on in our local real estate market. We're teaching you the why and the how-to, so you'll always be one step ahead of everyone else. Whether you need to sell your home for top dollar, refinance and save money, or even buy a bargain in Southern California, Ron Siegel can help. Call Ron directly at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Take advantage of speaking with Ron anytime you're entering a real estate transaction. Having someone who can answer all of your questions that truly cares about you and your family's best interest is priceless. Call Ron Siegel today and you'll be glad you did. 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or you can visit realestateradio.com for more info.
Blue Water Credit Repair is the industry leader in fixing bad credit. Did you know a 40-point increase in your credit score can save you $40,000 on a home loan and $4,000 on a car loan? You deserve good credit and peace of mind. Take the first step today and go to bluewatercredit.com and register for a free consultation from one of their credit repair experts. That's bluewatercredit.com.
Trimming into your retirement does not include losing your house. However, due to today's lower stock market, higher medical bills, and taxes, many retirees face this very problem. This is why it is necessary that you, as a baby boomer considering retirement within the next 10 years, understand reverse mortgages and what one could do for you or your parents. A reverse mortgage could make it possible for you or your parents to travel, buy a second home, or start a new business. For more information about reverse mortgages, just call our off-air number at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit realestateradio.com and click the free workshop button.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star, they've got the programs and the products. You've got the phone. Make the call, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. Dow Jones now up 185 points. NASDAQ is up 71. The S&P 500 up 25. We're looking at the 10-year Treasury up 2 basis points. The mortgage-backed securities down 9 basis points, which means interest rates are a little bit higher than they might be going up just a tad. That's not a whole heck of a lot. But the question becomes, why is this happening right now? Well, I told you that the stock reports are helping, and they're being helped by the fact that Nancy Pelosi is in the news again. Now, you know our friend Nancy Pelosi.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Yeah, so there's going to be a press conference, her and Steve Mnuchin. I think it's going to be about noon our time. Housing starts came out. The headline figure was up 2%, which was a bit lower than expectations. Year-over-year starts are up 11%. Headline figure was brought down by multifamily, and then you hear Steve Leisman on CNBC coming out and telling people that it was a bad report. Our friend Diana Olick, yeah, she every once in a while gets something right. Today she did. She said, hey, it's not that bad because single family starts were up. I wonder where that cracking is coming from. Now I'm hearing that stuff. I don't know. But the single family starts are doing better. Permit side, which is a good future indicator of the starts, headline was up 5% month over month, 8% year over year. Single family, once again, was even stronger, up 8% from last month and 24% from last year. Interestingly, new homes that were sold but not started yet are up a whopping 69%. Shows how strong the demand is right now. Increase in starts and permits going to help meet some of the demand, but there is so much more demand than supply right now. That means prices should continue to increase. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. So if you've been listening to our radio program, Ron Siegel Radio, for any length of time, like the last 10 years, you know that I focus a lot on Your Credit Matters. It's a segment I have almost every day because it does. Your credit matters, and it's a massive part of your life, whether you know it or not. If you're thinking of buying a house, if you're thinking of buying a car, if you're thinking of buying furniture on credit, do you have a credit card? Can you get a credit card? All of these things are going to be driven by your credit report. And I'm going to say this, most people won't say it as boldly as I do, because I know 60 Minutes said, a couple years ago, that 20% of the credit reports have errors on them. Now, I've been looking at credit reports since, some of you aren't even that old, right? But here's the issue. I have never, ever seen a credit report that is 100% accurate. Never. Right? And I've looked at a lot of reports, hundreds, maybe thousands of credit reports. I'll probably look at 50 of them this month. Never have I seen one that's completely accurate. I looked at one yesterday. The Social Security numbers of all things were wrong. Right? And that happens all the time. So I like it when I can get Jeff to come and join us. Jeff Sipes, Blue Water Credit. He is my guru, right? I know a lot about credit. I've been doing it for a long time, but Jeff knows more. So good morning, Jeff.
Hey, Ron. Thanks for having me on the show. It's always a pleasure.
Glad to have you with us. So I put the headline out as the recipe for a perfect credit score. Tell me what a perfect credit score is.
Yeah, and you did a great job building it up, because ultimately, your show is about helping people. And if you have a better credit score, you're going to save money, unless you're all cash. So if you have a loan on a house, a car, if you have a credit card, interest rates on any loan, the higher your score, the cheaper it's going to be to borrow the money. And so we just did a blog on our website, bluewatercredit.com. We did a blog on how many different credit scores are there. We've seen about over 100 different scores. So
wow.
I'm going to talk mainly in mortgage industry. So the information I give is going to be geared towards that score specifically. But in the mortgage industry, the FICO score ranges from 300, which I've never seen at 300, up to 850. That's like the perfect score is 850.
850 is perfect. Okay, now I'm going to throw it out there. The highest I've ever seen is 834.
Yeah, I same with me, Ron. I've now in the mortgage industry, I don't believe it's possible to have a perfect score. In some the newer credit scoring models, I've seen an 850, but in the mortgage industry, I don't think it's like chasing a rainbow. I don't think it's possible to catch it.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, because I had the gentleman that had the 834, he was in his mid-90s, early 90s, had a very, very sizable net worth, and he called me all upset and said, Ron, why isn't my score higher? I haven't missed a bill or a payment in 40 years. And I said, sir, you're applying for a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage and you're in your early 90s. What's the likelihood of him paying that off, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now, maybe you could speak on this too, Ron. Now, in the mortgage industry, at what point do you stop getting lower interest rate? Like, what's the magic number for you guys around?
Usually 740 to 760 is going to get the best rates. That's going to be the best price breaks.
Yep. So we call that the promised land of credit score. So if you're above a 760 and there's no benefit financially to get a better score, maybe you're just competitive and you want to get over that 800 credit score. Hopefully some of the information I share today will get you that boost so that you can get up into the 800s, because the 850 on a mortgage credit score, in my opinion, would be unattainable. But if you can get to the low to mid 800s, you're going to be in the top 1% of the country and have the best options possible.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's probably a little contradictory to your business side. And I know you don't care about you're more concerned with what's the benefit of the clients. We've talked about that before. So if you've got a 760 mid FICO, you really don't need to be doing a whole heck of a lot more with that, because all you're doing is spending money at that point, as opposed to really benefiting anything that's gonna help you attain better numbers. So once you're there, that's really not that's like you said. I like your term there, the promised land.
Yeah, it's the promised land of score. So for those of you that haven't done any studying on credit, your credit score is kind of like your GPA, your grade point average. And so what FICO looks at, there's 5 areas that they measure. Payment history, that's the biggest piece. Then they also measure your credit card debt and your loan debt. They look at the age of your account. They look at how many accounts are open and active. And they're also looking at how often you're applying for a new loan and having your credit checked. So the first step in having the highest score, Ron, is kind of a common sense piece. They don't want you to have any late payment. No, they don't want any collections reporting. They don't want any bankruptcies or any delinquency showing. So you have to have a perfect payment history. And so typically your payment history looks back maybe about 7 years for late payments and collections. And then if you file a bankruptcy, it's going to be around for about 10 years on your credit report.
Is it going to be affecting my score for 10 years, or is it, the year 1, year 10, is it going to be the same?
That's a great question, Ron. So FICO scores look at the age of the delinquency. So the older the delinquency, the less it impacts the score. So if you have a collection that's 6 years old, it's barely impacting the score. It's still hurting the score a little bit, but it's not going to hurt you nearly as much as right when that collection first hits.
What if I go and just pay that darn thing off? It's $100 and I just send them a check today and call it a day. How's that going to affect my score?
So unfortunately, paying a collection has zero impact on the score. It won't give you any benefit. And then if the collection agency does something called re-aging the debt, it could lower your score. And what that means, Ron, is basically if you had a collection that was 6 years old and you paid it off, Because it's 6 years old, it's not impacting your score nearly as much as when it first started. But sometimes when you pay off a collection, they make it look like the collection just happened. And if that's the case, Ron, you could have a significant drop in your score. So it's very important with paying collections. You don't want to pay the old ones unless you have to. And then one trick too, insider trick with these things, is you can negotiate them to be deleted from your credit report. And so you need to do that prior to paying it. Otherwise, after you pay it, you're not going to be able to get it deleted from them taking it off.
Interesting. So, we hear all the time that it can't be deleted. But you're just saying that they can actually delete it from my credit report?
Yeah, so medical collections especially, you can negotiate for deletion majority of the time. So we have a debt negotiator on staff. She's been settling collections for over 12 years. And so we have contacts at like a lot of the collection agencies. So she'll reach out to her contact and we'll be able to negotiate that account to be deleted for payment. And if we get it deleted for payment, I mean, we could see a 40, 50, 60 point jump in the score.
You know what? And something, those are the type of things that we talk about a lot on Ron Siegel Radio. Is I say this frequently, and I'm a big believer in this. I don't say anything that I'm not a believer in. But here's the issue. That's when I tell you that great counsel costs you nothing. Think about that. I mean, if you can go from a 650 credit score, and Jeff said, potentially getting that up 40 points. Well, there's a price break on mortgages at 680. It's not your best price break. We talked about that earlier, but there is a price break at 680. So think about that concept. What does it cost you to have to call Jeff's team and have them work on that versus what is it going to cost you over the next 30 years to have that better interest rate or the better car payment or the better purchasing power? All those are issues that we talk about when we're talking about how to improve yourself and dealing with these issues, which is the reason why I wanted Jeff to come on and chat with you. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial market. COVID and credit, what are the changes involved? We're going to talk with Jeff about that. We're going to also talk a little bit about Americans gaining confidence in the economy and that featured home by mysocallender.com. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Hi, we're here with Ron Siegel, the host of Real Estate Radio. Ron, welcome to the studio. Give us insight as to what your show is all about.
Hi, Eric. Thanks for having me. Thanks for asking me that question. The reason we developed Real Estate Radio is right now there's an abundance of misinformation out there. So Real Estate Radio is a show designed to give Southern California a focal point for their real estate knowledge, as well as a place to go just in case they might need anything real estate related.
So how are you helping people?
That's actually pretty simple. People need advice. So it really doesn't matter who you are. If you have any real estate questions, we're here to help. Whether you're buying a home, selling, you're experiencing a loan modification, short sale, foreclosure, there are a lot of things going on in this marketplace.
How can people get a hold of you?
Real easy. All you have to do is call. The number is 1-800-306-1990. Press option 1.
Interesting times in the market right now. Where do you think the markets are going from here?
That's a great question. All I can say is this. The housing market came down one house at a time, and what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to build it one house, one family at a time. So the best thing that anyone can do is access the free advice that we really want to give you. And to do that, you simply need to call me. The number is 1-800-306-1990, option 1. I'd really love to help.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel lending team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel lending team today at ronismylender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com, license under NMLS 217037. RonIsMyLender.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. The digest, it'll tell you exactly what the market believes about your property, exactly what the county recorder knows about your property. Best of all, it's free. Americans getting confidence in the economy. The September, easy for me to say. The September jobs report issued by the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported that unemployment rate dropped to 7.9%. Though that percentage is well below what experts projected earlier this year, it still means millions of people are without work. No way to minimize the tremendous impact this pandemic-induced recession continues to have on many Americans. However, the latest home purchase sentiment index from Fannie Mae shows how more and more Americans believe the worst is behind us and their personal employment situation is good. The index revealed, and I quote, the percentage of respondents who say they are concerned about losing their job in the next 12 months increased from 78% to 83%, while the percentage who say they are concerned decreased from 22% to 16%. As a result, the net share of Americans who say they are not concerned about losing their job increased 11 percentage points. Americans are naturally optimistic and have always responded to challenges, both with resiliency and resourcefulness. Today is no different. An example, the Wall Street Journal just reported, quote, Americans are starting new businesses at the fastest rate in more than a decade, according to government data, seizing on pent-up demand and new opportunities after the pandemic shutdown and reshaped the economy, unquote. Why would someone start a business in the middle of an economic crisis? The Wall Street Journal explains, quote, the jump may be one sign that the pandemic is speeding up creative destruction. The concept to describe how new innovative businesses often displace older, less efficient ones, buoying the long-term prosperity, unquote. Wall Street Journal also notes that these new businesses will have a positive impact on the overall employment situation, as new businesses are a critical engine of job creation. Startups have historically accounted for around 1/5 of job creation. Bottom line, for the millions of Americans still unemployed, we hope for a quick return to the workforce. We should, however, realize that over 90% of people are still employed, and some are venturing into new business startups. Perhaps the next big game-changing company is right around the corner. Do you have an idea? Have you thought about it? Are you trying your American ingenuity? Just throw that out there for you. A lot of people are get into these things, and Google was just an idea. Facebook was just an idea, right? Somebody went out on a limb, tried it. That's the American way. And a light bulb was just an idea. Telephone, cell phone, all these things. So think about them. It's part of being the American way. I'm just going to throw that out there for you to think about and understand. Again, that's the real-time real estate segment brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Chatting this morning, Jeff Sipes, Blue Water Credit, is in the house. We're chatting with him about credit, your credit scores, your credit matters. Right? Jeff is a credit repair expert, been doing this for a day or two. He's the go-to guy. When I get questions that somebody asks me about and I have no idea about the answer, just a quick text or email to Jeff and I've got an answer for people. The bottom line, what I recommend is, unless it's something really, really benign, just call there, retain their services. It doesn't cost that much. And in the long run, it's going to save your family money. It's going to save your family heartache. So let's chat COVID and credit, Jeff. What does COVID have anything to do with credit? You know, people are having hard times. So what's going on here?
Yeah, now great question, Ron. With the CARES Act that was passed, I believe March 27th, there was actually changes made to the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Those are the laws that kind of govern the credit reports and the creditors, or credit bureaus and the creditors. So what's interesting is they made what's called a credit accommodation. This is something new that's never been done before. And it's due to the pandemic and due to people having a financial hardship. And so what a credit accommodation basically means, then they have the ability to contact their creditors. They have to contact each creditor and work out some sort of payment arrangement. So the payment arrangement could be forbearance, it could be loan modification, it could be partial payments. And then what's interesting about that, Ron, is federal loans have to make an accommodation. So basically, if you have a federal school loan or federal home loan, then you're required to. Maybe we can talk a little bit about if somebody goes into forbearance on a home loan, maybe what their options are on refinancing or buying. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so as long as you have one payment made, you can refinance. Right? That's all that really takes. The forbearance that, and as you said, it is spot on. FHFA, which is Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and then HUD, which is FHA, VA, USDA. Those all have come out, and if once you go through the paperwork, you just put that on the end of the loan when you refinance or sell. It's due, or 25, 30 years from now, whenever you get to the last part of your loan, just those payments just get added on. So you're in good shape from that point. The government, my opinion, and I'm not a big fan of big government, is the government did a good thing. I mean, this wasn't the people's fault. So being proactive and coming out with these solutions to, because Jeff, I'm sure you deal with this, and I know a lot of the bankruptcy attorneys that we talk to deal with it. Finances are stressful, right? And if we could take one thing out, that really makes it a big benefit. So, but what about with credit cards? Are the credit card companies, are they helping people out?
They are. Most companies have some sort of accommodation. So one thing I'm telling people, in the beginning when this happened, hold times were really long. So we recommend if you're going through a financial hardship, pull out your credit report, go to annualcreditreport.com, get a free copy of your credit report. Because of the CARES Act, you can actually get your annual credit report once a week instead of once a year. So that's another big change. So you can go to annualcreditreport.com. You can check your credit once a week there instead of once a year because of the pandemic. And then any creditor you have, if you were struggling financially, if you are still unemployed or had loss of income, contact your credit card, contact your car loan, and then you want to take notes. Who did you speak to? Do they have an employee number? So then that way, 2 or 3 months down the road, when you look at your credit report, if they're reporting late payments and you've stuck to your payment accommodation, that's illegal. So that's something that can be fixed, most likely, as long as you have documented notes. So it's super important, Ron, if you are struggling financially, you set up the payment arrangement, take notes, document it, and get everything in writing if you can.
That was what I was going to ask you. Is it fair for me to request or ask the company to send it to me in writing or an email or something along those lines?
Absolutely. That's exactly what I do. Because unless you're recording the call, getting something in email or paper form is going to be your best evidence to get something fixed if for some reason if that person drops the ball. So, and then What's good about credit, Ron, is let's say today's the 20th and my credit card payment's due today. I have 30 days to work out before they report a 30-day late to my credit. And so if your credit off your score by 40 to 110 points. And as we were talking earlier on the show, your credit score is going to determine your interest rate. So if your score can stay high through this financial downturn, you're going to have much better financing options on the other side.
Yeah, that's some great information right there, because a lot of people think that if I'm 1 day late, they're going to report it. And that's not what the credit report actually says. It's saying, are you 30 days late or more? Are you 60 days or more, 90 days or more, whatever the number is? So, 5 days late, you can still make that payment. You may have to pay the $29 or $35 late fee, but that necessarily is not going to show up on the report that you're working with, right, Jeff?
Yep, exactly. And one other thing too, Ron, is if you are struggling financially and you're starting to max out your credit card, your score will be lower from the higher balances on your credit cards. FICO says one maxed out credit card can drop your score by up to 40 points. So if you do have to go into credit card debt because of the pandemic, the good news is once you pay off your credit cards, FICO doesn't have a memory. So they're not going to hold those high balances against you once you get out of debt. So your score will rebound right to where it was prior to going into credit card debt.
Okay, I'm going to, when we come back, I'm going to give Jeff a scenario right now, because I've used myfico.com. I've told you that before. Right, and they give me these up because I'm a nerd and I pay for the premium service and I get an update every day, or maybe sometimes 2 or 3 a day. When we come back, I'm going to ask Jeff why my credit score on one of the bureaus dropped 1 point when my balance on my card dropped $200. We'll find out that when we come back. Maybe there's just no logic to it. I don't know some of these things, but we'll talk to Jeff about that. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. We're going to continue our conversation with Jeff Sipes when we come back. Experian Boost, mortgage credit scores. What's a a Credit Karma report? I call it FACO. We'll talk to Jeff about that. And we're going to also, we've got the featured home by mysocallender.com. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
You have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership. What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to REAP@RonSiegelRadio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Exchange and without notice, licensed by the California DOC and BRE/NMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The featured home segment today being brought to you by MySoCalLender.com, MySoCalLender.com. So let's take a look at the property. I think we've got it right here. Let me see if I can bring it up on the screen to chat with you so you can see. Beautiful home. I think it's kind of a nice property here. 6604 East Paseo del Norte, Anaheim Hills. This one's brought to you by Diane Greenbaum. 4-bedroom, 2 full, 1 half bath. Beautiful mid-century modern in Anaheim Hills, noted by windows and high ceilings at the entry. Upon entering, engineered wood floors flow throughout this single-story home. Down the hall are the 4 bedrooms, full bath with a shower, and you get a shower in this house. That's nice. The largest bedroom has an ensuite with jetted jacuzzi tub and walk-in closet. I wonder if they've got a wine rack near that tub. Just throwing that out there. Built-ins and a sliding door to the backyard. At the opposite end of the house, the family room opens to the kitchen and eating area. French doors like that in the family room open to the spacious backyard with several fruit trees. Take a look at those pictures right there. It's listed at $828,000. 10% down, you're looking at $45.76 a month. With 20% down, you're looking at $39.85 a month. 30 years with 25% down, you're looking at $38.08 a month. To keep the compliance people happy, I'm going to tell you the APR is in order: 3.339, 3.176, and 3.179 on those. And yes, NMLS 217037. Got to throw all that stuff in there. We got the compliance people. I don't want to get them upset with me because, that's just one of those things. That's the featured home today, brought to you by MySoCalLender.com, MySoCalLender.com. Chatting this morning, Jeff Sipes is in the house. We're chatting with him about credit scores, credit repair. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time with this. I just want to throw this out there that sometimes if you're a nerd like me, 1 point in your credit score doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot. Right, so sometimes there are weird things that happen, but I do this for fun. I don't recommend you doing these kind of things, but how do I bring you information about what's going to happen with your credit score? Claire Isaac does not share exactly what their algorithms are. So people like Jeff that do this all the time, how does he figure out what's going to affect your score? Well, it's by doing the same thing that I did here. Is you register with myfico.com. You're a nerd like I am. You sometimes let your credit card balances go up at the end of the month. You sometimes let them go down. You try and see if my utilization is 12% versus 10% versus 9%, if it's 30%, 35%. I don't play the game of making a late payment. I don't want to see what that's going to do. But utilizations, as Jeff shared in the last segment, those change real quick from month to month. I'm not buying a house this month. I'm not buying a car this month. So playing with those things are the way I figure out what's going to happen. Is there a better way to do that, Jeff?
No, that's a really good, the fact that you're on myfico.com, myfico.com is the only accurate website to get accurate credit scores. And I talk to people all the time, not to segue too far off the question. Most people are looking at Credit Karma because it's free. Now, we just blogged, and I want to give the listeners an opportunity. If you go to bluewatercredit.com, we have 2 ebooks. One was a bestseller on Amazon last year under the credit section. You could download the ebooks for free under the credit education section. So bluewatercredit.com, download 17-page ebook. You can read that. It's going to give you concise information so that you can technically become a credit expert, so to speak. But credit utilization is a big factor. It's about 30% of your score, Ron. So FICO does say for the highest credit score possible, they like to see balances between 1 and 5%. 1 and 5% is like that magic number where you're squeezing every last point. What's interesting is if your credit card balance is 0, your score won't be as high as a small balance. So, but as you get closer to that limit, like in my the earlier segment, Ron, FICO says 1 maxed out credit card can impact the score by up to 40 points. So that it's like a teeter-totter. As the balance goes up, the score is going to come down, and as your balance comes down, score is going to go up. And so in your case, paying down the balances should have improved the score. Now, if your score dropped, there had to be another reason. My theory would be there was another inquiry that could impact the score 1 to 5 points. Was there an inquiry on the credit, Ron, or do you know?
No, because it tells you exactly what was there. So that's why I was kind of surprised by it.
The second reason potentially could be an account was closed. So did you see any account closed on your credit report?
No, I didn't see that one either.
All right. Third would be new information is reported. So all of your creditors, there's about over 20 pieces of data that are sent into the credit bureaus. Last active, date opened. So there's a potential that one of your creditors changed one of those dates on your credit report that could have impacted the average age of your accounts. So without comparing a before and after picture and looking at all the dates, it'd be hard to tell. But that would be my next recommendation. And then, Ron, this is really, really heavy for those credit nerds, but to keep people kind of on their toes, FICO has over 60 versions of their score. Nearly every version of their score has internally, they have different score cards. Now, a scorecard weighs different things differently on a credit report. And so sometimes when your score changes and there's been no change to your credit report, the only potential explanation would be that FICO transferred you to another scorecard. Therefore, what they're looking at changed in how it's being weighted slightly.
Interesting stuff. It's amazing. Now, talk to me a little bit, because I want to really share this information, because from you as the guru, Credit Karma, talk a little bit about Credit Karma benefits. Is there any benefit to it?
Sure. Yeah. So I have a Credit Karma app, and I get the alerts and the emails. Realize, Ron, and you probably have talked about this sometime in your show, nothing in life is free, right? Nothing in life is free. And so if Credit Karma isn't charging you to have the credit scores in the apps, how are they making money? Is because they're going to be trying to sell you loans, credit cards, and so you're going to have to kind of deal with the solicitation that they're offering. Now, Credit Karma gives you 2 scores, and they give you 2 credit reports. They're not giving you the Experian score. So you can get Equifax and TransUnion, but Experian's not going to be on there. And then Credit Karma is using what's called the Vantage credit score. So it's not the FICO score. And I've seen Credit Karma scores be 10 points off. I talked to a guy about 3 weeks ago. He had an 800 Credit Karma score. He went to apply for a home loan, and he was in the 600s. So it was like a 670. So it was 130 points off, Ron.
That's painful, because you're going in expecting one thing, and sometimes when you go to somebody that doesn't understand this very well, you can go into them and they think that you're misleading them, and you're just telling them the truth. I looked at my credit score and it said 800 or 825. The funny one that I get every once in a while, and you'll catch this one real quick, Jeff, is when someone says to me, Well, I looked at my credit score and it says 875. Right? And you know that it's,
we know
that
that we're not looking at the right score.
yeah, exactly. So that's an interesting one. I only have a short time left, Jeff, but I do want you to share again about your book, your Amazon book.
Yeah, so we wrote a book, because there's such a discrepancy with what people are telling us on a daily basis, where someone in their life is a credit expert and they got advice, or what I read online. What's interesting too about like Credit Karma, because Credit Karma's credit score is not FICO, the information they give you isn't 100% accurate for improving your FICO score. And so we decided that we need to post tons of content out there. We've got over 300 blogs on our website, those ebooks, the Amazon book that we wrote. You can download them. They're all absolutely free. The only thing it's going to cost you, Ron, because nothing's free, is you're going to have to read. You're going to have to invest time. And by reading and investing time, you're going to be better informed for the next time you have to make a financial decision. So ultimately, hopefully we can save people $50 a month, $100 a month, $200 a month on their future financing.
That's perfect. That's exactly the whole idea. So go to Jeff's website, get that information. We've got it scrolling across the bottom of the screen, www.bluewatercredit.com. Thanks for sharing with us, Jeff. We'll have to have you come back and do this again real soon. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John and Sean, who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.